is intended for admin accounts, whether you're a school admin, a district admin, or a regional admin. Doesn't matter. Looking at the start of year setup for any fair administrator at any level. So I'm at my role selector. So that means I've logged in. This is the first screen I would see when I'm an administrator. I'll talk about some of the login stuff in another video, the kind of initial login video. But for this, I'm going to assume that you kind of know what you're doing there. And so I'm just going to log in here as the account login or account administrator. You'll see here I've got this kind of red indicator that my fair is not activated. That means none of my folks can log in or do anything. They don't have their initial invite email. They don't have their login information. That doesn't happen until after I activate the fair. And the way that I activate the fair is to go into the start of year setup. Okay, so that's the first thing that you should be doing. Regional administrators have this other account administration button that won't be there for other administrator accounts. Okay, so when you log in, you're going to see some of your basic fair information, the name of your fair, the level of the fair, who the director is, and the school district, if that's relevant, for this is a regional fair we're looking at. And then you're going to pick the date for your fair. So this is a little calendar. You click that, and I can go and select myself a date. I click Save Fair Date. And then there's a freeze date option. So the freeze date is a date after which the students cannot edit their titles or categories. So up to that point, they can change their categories or titles. So basically, this is a date at which I'm going to get ready for the fair, and I don't want students to make any more changes so that I'm able to start putting together my materials. It defaults to September 1st, which is, if it sees September 1st as the option there, it's not going to create a freeze date. So this is the equivalent of having nothing. Okay, it just recognizes September 1st in that way. So if I'm going to create a freeze date, I just select it in here. So maybe I want like a week ahead. I hit Save Freeze Date. When students log in and they're on the screen that has the title and categories, they will see a little flag indicating what the freeze date is. Okay. Next, I'm looking at media release and fair agreements. This would be when a parent logs in to do their approval. They're going to get a screen that's going to give them some information. And so there's some default text, but you can change that however you want. So you could like come in here and add some stuff. And if I hit enter, I just want to point this out. Nothing happens. Like it doesn't do a carriage return. Like I don't make a new line when I hit enter. So you have to hit shift and enter on this interface in order to do what you would traditionally think would happen when you hit enter. Okay, so if you forget that, I've got it mentioned somewhere, yeah. Okay, so you don't get confused there. All right, so let's say I've edited that up so that it's the information I want to share with the parents. I can click Save Fair Data. Now I'm ready to advance on, so I hit Save Data and continue to SRC settings. So I'm going to create my SRC or Scientific Review Committee. I've got three options for that. Okay, option one is in-person review. That would be basically I, as the fair administrator, can pull up maybe on the TV, like our projector or something like that for the SRC members. I pull up the information for the projects, they look at it together, and then I enter for them, their approvals on the computer while they're having the meeting. They would sign on the computer screen then while they're in the meeting, and so that's more of a traditional meeting option. Option two is a remote review. That would mean that your SRC members get accounts in Labrat, and they're able to view, approve, and sign their documents 100% online. They don't have to come together for a meeting. They can approve them as they come, as the projects are ready. And the third option is to use the parent SRC. Okay, so I am a regional fair in this case, so I don't have an option for that. There's no parent fair. So you'll see option 3 is removed. So I can create settings for my subfares as to whether or not they're supposed to use my SRC or their own. And if I say, no, they can't use my SRC, then option 3 would be blocked. If I say you must use the SRC, the higher level fare, then these options won't be available and they could only click option 3. So I'm going to click Remote Review. And so that brings me to an interface where I'm going to enter in information about my SRC. So I'm going to just use some fake names here, if I can type. And while I'm typing this in, I'll just point out that if I was going to do an in-person review, then I would not be using this interface. Right now, I would do it during the meeting. So this would pop up when I had the in-person meeting, so that the folks could sign or help give me the information there in the meeting itself. Okay, so now I've got my SRC members. I'm gonna save that so that I can advance. All right, so we're advancing on to the IRB completion, which is just like the SRC completion. So for the Institutional Review Board, it's the group that looks at human subject projects. They can either do in-person review, remote review, or use the parent fair if the parent fair sets that up. So again, same kind of options. I'm going to click Remote Review. That brings me to a screen where I have to enter. There's 3 required types of people for this. You have to have a medical person, an educator, and an administrator. So it sets you up for that so that it can later log which role they're filling when they complete their paperwork. You can have other people viewing this stuff. You can add other people to the roles, but they won't be like the official IRB people for completion. I'll show that in a future video. So now they're saved and set up. Now I'm going to set my available categories for the fair. So it defaults to showing me the categories, the official ISEF categories, okay? Which are mostly named the same way they are in ISEF, except for a few longer ones I've adjusted. So if you wanted to edit a name, you can just add a category name. Sorry, you should do the edit first and then hit edit category name, and then it would save that. I can also remove a category. So let's say I'm like, I know I'm not going to have biomedical engineering, and so I don't want kids selecting it when they're not going to end up being able to get in that category. So I can just click remove category. You can see biomedical engineering is now gone off the list. So I can do any adjustments I want to. I can leave all the choices available. This is just so that you can tweak it a little bit before it goes to the students. So these categories would be in a drop-down menu for the students when they are completing their forms to select their category. Let's say I messed up and I deleted too many things. I could just click to reset the categories back to the ISEF defaults, or I can continue to the next step. And then I'm almost done here, so there's not too much you have to do. I can, under Judge Registration Tools, I have the option of using LabRat to complete judge registration. So if you're going to handle that on your own, you could just click no. But if you would like to use a link from LabRat, the advantage of that is that if they register through there, then you have the information from the judges automatically loaded into the software. And then later in the year, when you're setting up your fair, you can use the tools to get a sample of possible judge configurations that would cover your categories, and and you can have their information preloaded, so that you can use that in the fair tools later in the year. So if I say yes, I would like to do that, then it takes me to the next page, gives me a little bit of information, and it gives me the judge registration link. Okay, so I would be sending this to any judges who would be completing that. And I'm going to talk about that in a separate video, I guess. Well, I can show you right now. If I click on that, they come to a screen like this. So it shows them when the fair date is, because I collected that information, a little while ago, a few questions ago. And it asks for their title, their name, their address, email address, phone number, employer, institution, if they've judged for you before, if they're alumnus from your school or fair, and then asking them to summarize their educational and professional history as it relates to judging. There's places to put student conflicts, so like if they know that their nephew might be in the fair or something like that. And then there's a place to put their preferences for the categories. And so you notice that like your biomedical engineering is gone because I deleted that one. So it matches what I just entered, and I can pick 1st through 5th. And it also has a option for them to select if they're willing to judge some other fairs and that kind of thing. So this needs a little more work before it's ready for judges, but you would generate the link now, and then before too long it'll be available to use later in the year. So you could check in with us if to confirm that it's ready. All right, and then so I guess save and advance from there, and then I get to the last stage, which is the activate fair step. Okay, so I would click that. I'm not going to do that right now for this demo video, because what that does is it automatically sends out emails to any of the staff at the district levels, and so that would create those accounts. So you just click that when you're ready to go, and that is everything you got to worry about for the start of year setup. So thank you. I hope this is helpful. Have a good day.